Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is already January of 2025. Can you believe it? And still to this very day, many different actors, actresses, writers, producers, directors, and comedians continue to attack their own fan base, their own fans, if you will, and even the general public for denying anything or refusing to actually engage in DEI or anything to do with their agenda, and they are constantly pulling the blame game, they are scapegoating, they are playing the victim card. And Jada Pinkett Smith is a prime example of someone who doesn't seem to get the memo, who doesn't seem to really grasp with reality that nobody wants to listen to her anymore, and this is exactly why she lost millions of fans. Even loyal fans of hers have now checked out and want nothing to do with her. They don't want to hear her anymore, they don't want to see her on television or anywhere at this point in 2025. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So both Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith, alright, they are both insufferable because of how they act, both behind the scenes and in the public eye. We all remember what Will Smith did back in 2022 at the Oscars against Chris Rock with the slap. We all know that. We will never forget that. But Jada Pinkett Smith is a whole new level of insufferable. We know that she's been trying to get into Men in Black 5 by piggybacking on Will Smith's connections with Sony and with his success over there and what he's trying to do by making a comeback. And for those of you that have been following me for a very long while, I'm a very big critic of Will Smith. I'm not a fan of him anymore after 2022. But let's get on with this. What's interesting about Jada Pinkett, though, is her overall reaction, her response, if you will, after losing loyal fans and just fans in general. Now, with the entire woke media in Hollywood now officially in financial flames after the public backlash and pushback, one major development that is now active involves more to do with Jada Pinkett Smith and what she recently had to say after losing millions of her own fans in recent weeks after attacking not just the general public, but also those for denying DEI. Now, Jada delivered the following. The fact that when you're someone like me who is in show business and has been for well over 20 plus years now, the fact that you lose support and loyal fans for supporting DEI, I think is the growing issue in this industry right now. I have had the time of my life working on the Matrix, starring in Collateral, and other hit films and franchises, and it's still shocking to me that if you are all in support for diversity, equity, and inclusion, then you can just lose your core fans just like that at the snap of a finger. And it's a signal of just how deluded the United States and its citizens are right now, and how they view show business, and what really matters at the core is fairness and balance for all talent. And that's what DEI is, whether you like it or not. Fairness and balance is what it is and what it should be, and it should be the standard, but the people refuse it to be, and that's what I find to be wildly offensive, both as a woman of color and as an actress, writer, and activist. It needs to be fixed, and it needs to be now. Looking back at the election in 2024, I think it really scared a lot of people to get into the acting business because of how one-sided of the country wants to abolish DEI, and I will admit that they are so far getting the results that they want. Some of these studios just don't have it in themselves to keep their DEI departments in check, and it's disheartening and frustrating. And if you support DEI, you lose fans, and that's what happened to me, and wrongfully so, coming from uneducated people. Look, if you don't want to follow my work or read my books because I support DEI, I just don't view you as a ride or die fan anyway, then, and perhaps, it's best that you part ways, because you need to focus on your loyals that will support you no matter what on what you believe is best for this country. Now guys, let me just stop here. Now, the thing about Jada Pinkett Smith is that we know that after all of her acting roles got refused by various studios, she got blacklisted by many studios, and how now even Sony, who has a big connection with Will Smith, they don't even want to deal with Jada Pinkett Smith. Even Will, we talked about this, even Will told Jada to just stay out of the business, stay out of his business, and call it quits and keep it quiet. And that's where things are going wrong with Jada Pinkett Smith. So now, she's really focusing on writing more books, making a series of books, and just marketing her success on that. That's what she's trying to do now. So, interestingly enough, she's acting in a very bitter way of trying to cope with the fact that she really can't get acting roles anymore. Notice how she brings up things like The Matrix or Collateral or other projects that she's been involved in, the successful projects, mind you, that made money. She doesn't really bring up the other ones that really failed miserably, but we all know that Jada Pinkett Smith, alright, will never admit that DEI is indeed an agenda, is indeed a failed agenda by all of these different studios that really did things that are, in my opinion, irredeemable, alright? The fact that they destroyed so many franchises out there, like Star Wars, like Marvel, and many others that are trying to now repair themselves, it's just not going to work. So, moving on, she goes on to conclude, I and Will are really trying to expand our roles and the roles that we deserve in this industry, and we have a lot going on right now that I really can't get into, but I think hopefully it's going to be exciting. But so far, no luck, really, since some of these studios, and many of them, more so now, are becoming quite stubborn with their behavior toward hiring those that fall into the category of diversity. There she goes again, playing the victim card, right? She continues, it's a sick business since this business falls into the demands of the loud minority of Americans that makes themselves appear to be the majority, and always likes to claim that DEI is part of an agenda, which is a complete lie and nothing more than to keep some actors out of business and out of work. And it's working in a childish way for many in this industry, and it's absolutely horrible. We need a solution, we need some kind of resolution with these studios and how they should set up boundaries with how they interact with the public and listen to the public. So basically what she's saying is that these studios should not listen to criticism, they should not listen to opinions, they should not listen to common sense, is what she's saying, alright? That's really what it translates to, if you really listen to this. Now, Jada Pinkett Smith, will she ever get a major acting role again, or anything substantial in a major franchise? I don't think so. Her last big role, or if you even want to call it a big role, was in The Matrix 4, alright? I even forgot the subtitle of that movie. Was it Matrix Resolutions or something, or Resurrections, something like that? In that movie, she returned as a character decades later in the story, and even that movie failed. So she tried to piggyback off of The Matrix, off of her past work. It didn't work. It really was not a box office success. It was universally rejected by Matrix fans. And now that we have a Matrix 5, ironically in the works, just like Men in Black 5 is, who knows if she's going to get a role again in The Matrix 5. We'll see, whether through flashbacks or whatnot, who knows. We'll have to see. There has been some kind of conversation going on there. We'll tap more into that. But what's interesting about this is that Jada Pinkett Smith doesn't seem like she wants to let things go. It doesn't seem like that she wants to get the memo or really grasp with reality that there are no fans for Jada Pinkett Smith right now other than the niche that she actually has that buy her books or anything like that. Now, interestingly, again, we know that her and everything going on with Will, with Sony and Men in Black 5, the whole drama going on there right now, is going to be an everlasting thing until they really decide on a deal. Now, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.